we think of Argentina, we might think of many things. A history and culture that is so incredibly rich. You can taste it. In fact, their national drink mate, which is a herbal steep drink, dates back to the 16th century. They have a passion for soccer so strong that about 90% of the population has allegiance to a football club. Home to one of the longest mountain ranges in the world, the Andes Mountains soar to an elevation of almost 23,000 feet. From the European-inspired city of Buenos Aires to the rugged terrain of Patagonia in the south, Argentina is as diverse as it gets. And when you look just south of the Paraguay border, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, lies the small city of Las Lomitas. And in that small city, you'll find a small church called Iglesia Bíblica Bautista Cristiana, or Christian Baptist Bible Church. This church, led by Pastor David Alvarez, has faced many challenges in their early beginnings. In fact, just earlier this year, they didn't even have a church building.
At first, at the beginning, we began to meet in church members' houses. We began to gather, of course, with the desire and purpose of being able to have our own premises. We saw the situation as very difficult because there were few of us, because everything was expensive, so it was very difficult to be able to have something, you know?
As of September 2024, Argentina's inflation rate was up to 236%, the world's largest inflation rate. That rate was 54% just 5 years ago. It's easy to see why it's so difficult to put food on the table, never mind pay for a church building. But this past June, Bell Shoals was able to partner with Pastor David's church when our Vacation Bible School kids raised over $10,000 to pay for the floor and the roof of the Las Lomitas church building. In fact, the very Sunday we celebrated the gift that would help fund the church building, our mission team was in Argentina, worshiping with our brothers and sisters.
We have a team there right now in Argentina. They're worshiping today at this church with our missionary, and they're going to learn today about what God did this past week.
These gifts allowed them to transition from meeting in houses to having a permanent space that they can call their church home.
Esto, cuando empezamos la construcción,
When we started the construction,
solamente tenía las paredes del costado
they only have the walls
y nada más.
and nothing else.
Todo lo otro es lo que se hizo con lo que el donativo que ellos vieron.
The rest that they have done, it's done with the money that you guys sent.
Las Lomitas is an impoverished community. In an effort to maintain control over its people, the provincial government has made it very difficult for people to obtain jobs. Many of the local churches there preach a prosperity gospel, not the true gospel. In a town where roughly 80% of the people rely on government assistance, the promise of a financially prosperous life is especially enticing. But the false gospel they present also requires much of the people who follow it. The salvation they preach is one of works, not grace.
The great risk is that people are looking precisely for happiness, well-being, emotional and physical health, where we prioritize the soul, we prioritize the spiritual health of people.
Priorizamos el alma, priorizamos la salud espiritual de las personas.
In this whole area of the province of Formosa, we know that there is no church with sound doctrine. We go to the towns, we ask, we investigate, and in this whole area, there is not a single Baptist church, and that is sad.
Working together with my beloved, we began in a Pentecostal ministry movement that it was all about feelings of our flesh. But that was just feelings, and it came to nothing. We were missing something. There was an essence that was there for a moment, and then it would go away. But at that time, we understood that our salvation was by works. We had to do something so that God would consider us and bless us greatly. At the time, we lacked more knowledge of His Word.
The most beautiful thing that was for me was when Pastor David taught for the first time. He said salvation was by grace. It was something that marked me, and I rejoice in the Lord because whenever I remember, because I used to live under the law. And every day that I got up and would say, yes, Lord, I'm afraid of sinning. I don't want to sin. I don't want to sin. Because I lived in slavery, and I would say every day, if I were to sin, I'm going to go to hell. I was truly afraid. When I discovered this passage through Pastor David, it was truly something impressive and something that marked me for my entire life. And today I am free. That is, through Christ, I am free.
The message of the true gospel is one of generosity. It's a message of a God who gave a sacrificial gift that no man could ever repay. What Pastor David and his church have come to understand is the abundant life is not a life marked by earthly possessions, perfect health, or a life free from hardship and tragedy. Rather, the abundant life is a life marked by Jesus and the fullness of His grace. It's the generosity of our God that drives us to be generous with others.
My mother passed away when I was 10 years old, and there's 6 of us, 6 siblings. My mother was a single mother. That's why when people come, I like to serve them, because I didn't have anything, and now God gave me too much. But I never would have thought I would be able to give to someone like that.
When I went to Las Lomitas, one of the poorest places in Argentina is the poor of the poorest. But something that I saw in the midst of all that, these people was the people that have the less, but they have the most. They were rich in the midst of their poverty. When they look around what they have, they say, no, I'm blessed beyond what I ever dreamed. I was thinking as they talking to me and sharing this with us, that how ungrateful we are sometimes. We complain, I complain for the most beautiful stuff, and how these people looking for excuses to love on others, to serve to others, to give everything that they have, they're willing to give it to others. And it's just humble me. Beyond measure of their heart, their kindness, that you know when you look at them, that only a great God, the God that we serve, can do an amazing work on people's life like what they did on their family. We are blessed to be able to really listen to their story, how God has been intervening in every aspect of their life, and how grateful they are that they are giving their all to God for His own glory.